I just started now. Yes. Yeah, I hope recording is started. Now, when I write PSQL and if I write /d, so these are the relations that can be seen rather uh, in my database. So like if I write DT, these are the tables. Fine. So if I see select TYP name from PG underscore type, where TYP name like customer, say for example, or otherwise let us order by TYP name. So if you see like some of these are the ones which are created by us, X, X1, X2. Already we talked about X in the previous session, correct? 2X entries. Why they are there? Because their schema is different. Similarly, you can see there is stock, there is student. Okay, then there is customer as well. See, you can see that customer also is available as an a type. Now, like if it is to be managed by the system, how exactly this is to be done? If at all I have to create some kind of structure. So when your user gives the input on the shell prompt, suppose I'm creating my own database shell as an assignment. Some of you who did your bachelor's in computer science, you must have seen that you were asked to design a shell for some simple shell commands. Think of this like you want to create your own database shell the way that we are using PSQL, the client, where whenever I write create database A, then we know how the structure should be organized. What the cluster directory is for us? What is cluster? Can somebody tell me what is cluster?
The collection of databases.
Okay, collection of databases. Very good. Beyond that, is it only collection of databases?
Right. Beyond that, I forgot.
Okay, collection of databases, collection of schemas, and so on. So there would be different things. Databases would be one part of it. Correct. It can contain many things too, because if you see, if I try to see, for example, cd slash var lib postgresql 14 main bay sorry, because we are not the owner, that's why. Now if I type base, now we will see that apart from your regular databases, like your regular database is the one which is created by you. So there are three which are created by it, and we understood why they are there. Template 0, Postgres, template 1. And we even have seen importance of each of them in the session. Now, when we do talk about this aspect, importance of them is definitely there, which is going to help us out to understand how the data structures are, sorry, how the database structures are organized. Correct? How the database structures are organized. Now, when we are talking about that database structure, whenever you create or whenever you fire a create table query, ultimately, what should happen at that time, at that side? What effect should be done? So we already saw whenever we fire Okay, for a while, let me show you again, though I said we already saw. So let me open one another terminal. So I'm making use of again for a while what you can call it as standard table PG logs with the transaction. Select slide D PG logs database relation. Yeah. So by default, I would be seeing this entry. OK, so we can add PID too. So if I see PS, sorry. OK, let it be. So let me go here. Let me write begin. Create database test 1, 2, 3. Owner 10. So what it is saying, create database cannot run inside a transaction block. Correct. Now it knows what is to be done inside and what is not to be done inside. So let me end this. OK, let me write begin. So OK, now I will try to create a table. So begin. Create table trial 1 a integer. Now you must see that, or you may see that we have fired the query and it got executed. So if I fire this entry, what can you see here? There is a database referred with 0. OK, 16385. This definitely means this Nitin. There are two relations 12290, which is definitely because we already saw this. That's why it is for PG logs. And this 24967 was meant for here. But if you carefully see how many entries were added there, rather these many. Now, as I have restricted myself with respect to showing these 3 entries, I am not able to see what is happening at that side. Now see how operating system is playing an important role here. See the different log types that are applied separately. Now you may say then why this entry? Why this entry again? It looks similar entry, correct? If I sort it, order by database. Now what difference that these entries are making into my system, and who exactly is helping the system to add it here? Okay, and let us see like who is helping out there. See the communication that is happening with the system. Now when you fired a command, see I'm not talking about this now. With the assumption I'm assuming that the query is correct. Now when we fired that create table query inside begin, then it gave us an error like create database query inside begin or inside a transaction. It suddenly responded us, no, you cannot. But when we fired create table query, it permitted us to do so. Right? Which is controlled, and that was controlled by this transaction manager and lock manager together. Now you may say, like if I don't you write begin, then what happens there? Ultimately, every line is treated as a transaction. Every line is treated as a transaction. No matter whether you are writing inside a begin or end pair. which is a block, transaction block. Automatically it is added until unless you talk about specifically starting a transaction. And every line that you execute without begin and end is committed, is saved. So you must have heard a word commit. Have you heard commit and rollback? Can somebody explain me what is the meaning of those words? What is commit and what is rollback? Yes, what is commit and what is rollback?
If we made changes in transaction, if we give command commit, then all the changes got saved. And if
Okay.
we give command rollback, then the changes undo.
Changes are undone, correct? What are the
Yes.
changes that you are forcing the system to execute? Those changes should be undone. But when? Let me see. Let me show. Maybe let me try a few things in front of you to show you exactly what happens there. Correct? So he was talking about begin and end. Correct? Sorry, about a transaction. So we had this transaction. So let me end this. Let me roll back from here in a transaction, inside a transaction. We already created a table. Right? Let me roll back. So let me see what happened here. Now I know that there is a relation which got created with 24967. So select star from PG class where OID equal to 24967. The entry got deleted. Okay, you may say, okay, let me try one thing. Begin again. Because when you write rollback or commit, transaction is ended. Create table. Now let me see this entry. Sorry, now your OID changed. Let us see what is the OID 12290. Sorry. Create table is fired. So let us see the entry. Entry is 24970. So still it says it is not saved. But then how exactly it was applied? So let me go to third terminal now. This is one, this is second, this is third. Yeah. So Control L. So Postgres AS cd slash var lib PostgreSQL 14 main base 16385 ls dash ltr. Now see the last entries. You can see this was 967, which was created by us earlier. You can see that which was not saved. See this one, but the entry was not seen on the UI. File was created for it. File was created for it, and that's what it is trying to tell us. 967 was created. Even 970 is created. Until and unless you add records, entry would not be added here. So let me write insert into trial 1 values 10. Now I inserted one value. Fine. So let me see the entries now here. How many entries are there? Now see how many tables got affected. So this is the terminal that we are talking about. 10192. These are all entries for that database. So it picked a database entry from 0. What was 0 there? Let us see that name, comma OID from PG underscore database. We don't see any 0 there. OID to be 0 there. Then why exactly it is trying to show us this? 0. 0th entry. Correct. First question. Now we try to see what are these entries. So at least one can understand this is for the table trial 1. What these entries meant for us. Let us write select OID comma real name from PG class where OID less than, let me write 3555. See the entries. Okay, so to show you on other side, now one entry would be added here in that record. Select dat name comma PID comma relation. No, it is not dat name, database. Yeah, order by relation. So see the relations. What exactly this 1259 means for us. So this is not sorted. Okay. Control L. Order by OID. So let me minimize this. Let me write it here and let me take this window here. Now try to see which are the entries 1259. Can you see one? Can you see 1259? What is 1259 for us? In the right side window.
PG class.
In this case, PG class. So we always said whenever you are creating a table, entry would be added into PG class. Whenever you are inserting a table, first of all, it should check whether the entry is available with PG class or not. Okay, next is 2615. Let us see 2615. What is 2615? Namespace where your data should be stored on what part of disk. Okay, 2662. It is an index, means primary key is added 2662 because OID you are referring to, that's why. Then 2663. There is another index added 2684. C84. What is 84? Namespace index. 2685 again namespace index 3455. Let us see what is 3455. Yeah. What is 3455? Table space relation file node index. These all are getting manipulated every time. These relations whenever you are firing one insert statement. Correct? Let me show you one more time what exactly I am trying to tell you. So this was a query written by us. Okay, so I'm saying rollback. If I try to fire this, I'm getting only 2 entries. Correct? Let me write begin. So let me see now there would be third entry added. Is third entry added there? Yes. Terminal is also changed. 365, 365, and now I have 192. Okay, good. Let us write begin लिख दिया अभी यहाँ पर लिखते create table. So let us see how many entries are added. So entries are added, but relations are not used at all. One relation is added there with 24973, which would be again empty. Correct? Now you write insert. Correct? Let us fire this again. Can you see 2 entries are added? Can you see 2 entries are added? Yes. Now, whenever I fire this, ultimately I would be getting these mini entries, but where exactly the others are gone, which were shown back earlier. Because we are repeatedly executing on the same table, that's why it might not be showing you that detail. What is the detail that was supposed to be shown there? Correct. Now you simply write, say, insert again. You will see same number of entries, 8 rows, 8 rows. Now let me write delete from trial 1 where a equal to 10. Let me fire this. Now those internal relations came into picture. Correct. So after now see how communication between OS, database system and Postgres software, server rather. The server OS server process, I mean to say your storage manager, okay, which is shown in the diagram. See the diagram. How the communication is happening between this transaction manager and whole stuff. Before executing this, they are verifying the query, whether it is correct or wrong. And appropriately, action is taken by the system to show you the data. What is the data that was available at that part of system. Now, what exactly these parser, rewriter, optimizer, commands and executor do for us? Even we need to know what kind of role these systems are, subsystems are playing there. Let us try to address one by one. What is query evaluation? Okay, query evaluation should be worked out with respect to verifying the syntax. Check whether the query can be further worked out, because the things that we are talking about is about these layers right now. Query evaluation engine, file access methods, buffer management and disk management system. Similarly, apart from your query evaluation engine, there should be a strict bond between file access methods and query evaluation engine, because when you fire select star from A, what should be the first task? What do you think? What should be the first task? Select star from A. What should be first task?
Tokenization.
Huh?
Tokenization.
Okay, so
Breaking the
you
query.
went into systems. In general, now let us not talk about that tokenization part. In general, what should happen? What you expect the system to do for you? Select star from A. Definitely tokenization is going to be there. Correct? Yeah, you were saying something, Devesh.
It shows the details of A.
It shows details of A. It is like kind of a virtual thing that is shown to us as an output. It says, okay, I do assume that this is the data that is available in that relation. That's what I'm presenting to you. Then he used one terminology which said tokenization. You divide that query into subwords. Part of each query. Your delimiter, concentrate on that delimiter, workout. And you know exactly the position. How you know the position of that syntax? Because your syntax is described like this. This is the syntax that is added inside the system, which is verified by the code. Who verifies this? So if you download source code of Postgres, Okay, so let me, I have old source code right now, but I will try to show you how it works. Get. So I have source code downloaded with me. That's why I am using this one. So backend slash parser slash scan.l. This is a scanner who does tokenization for your system. Scan.l. Now some of you must have worked with Lex and Yak. I assume with the systems. Abhijit took few sessions, if I recall correctly, about Lex and Yak. Correct? So this is a Lex file, scan.l. This contains complete code of tokenization, what the terminology that he was using. Complete code for tokenization. And there's a parser too. Like when we saw this was a lexical scanner. Now other file is there, gram.y. This is the parser. It is Yak, Lex and Yak. So whole syntax parsing is done by verification, tokenization, everything is done by these two files, and these two files play a very, very important role into the system. It knows what is to be picked, what is to be done, and so on. Everything is written inside this code. So suppose so see wherever exactly this create comes into picture. So let us say even less. There are multiple things. The way you use create user, no create user, create role, no create role, create DB. Okay. Then you have create extension, create foreign, create optem table. Whole thing is written inside this syntax. What are the syntax that one can see here inside Postgres? So if you write /h create table, this is syntax represented in that form of Yak. And query evaluation engine actually makes use of these two at the initial stage. Fine. Okay. Then there is something called as file access methods. Now you will require some kind of registry or some kind of register which is maintained internally that okay, whenever a user creates a relation or any object for the database, that entry should be added somewhere with a number associated. And as we are following Unix operating system structure or per se Linux operating system structure, every file in the system is identified by a number called as inode on Linux OS. And similar kind of strategy is followed by having some number representation. So again, let me go back. You don't get confused. I am switching in between the machines. Okay, so I hope I had here /q. Yeah, /q. So Postgres Yes. cd/var lib PostgreSQL 14 main base. Okay, cd16 ls-il. So if you write ls-il, now at file system level of Linux operating system. So if you see, these are your OIDs. These are your OIDs internally added by the system. Or if you
Sir,
see,
we
sorry.
cannot see the PSQL screen. We can only see the Windows screen where PPT is open.
Oh, sorry. I made a miss. Now, is it?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. So if I write this ls-il, these are the OIDs that you have that we already saw. Correct? 1255 we saw. Then even for our relation, we saw one entry with 16 something. Now for every file that is created on the disk, this is the number added called as inode by the system. And file and access methods are concentrating through this number. Say for example, if it wants to access this file, example case, so it accesses it by this number. And this strong relationship between the inode like this, which is now selected by me, and the OID selected right now. This bonding is done by that file and access method. Now, when it is reading that data from the system, what should happen? So when I fire select star from, say, for example, X, and assume that X is represented by this OID, whose inode is this, but I don't access this with this inode because this inode is known by my Linux operating system, and this number is known by my Postgres system or database engine. So whenever I fire select star from X, ultimately I need to take help of buffer. That's what next important role, next important part would be buffer management, which comes into picture like this. File management, whenever you fire any query, your file access method would be coming into picture. So whether it is insert, whether it is delete. Now suppose you have a table with primary key. Okay, can you insert another record with same value for a primary key?
No, sir.
Why? What is the reason?
Primary key has the unique constraint, so every addition has to be unique.
So it internally has unique applied whenever you write some key or whenever you define some key to be a primary key. Now, if it is the case, then ultimately whenever I am trying to insert into the system, so first of all, I need to bring that data into the buffer. Correct? See whether this kind of data is available. So how will I know that? How will I know that there is a primary key defined? So I have to make use of this initial library to access that data from the database engine. From the database engine. Correct. And when it verifies, yes, you have primary key defined. And how exactly do I know that? That there is a primary key? So recall, now you must have seen while I tried showing you the numbers, those 4-digit numbers, you must have seen that there was some addition, there were some additional indexes, those who got added there. Correct? Those got added there. Now, if I write, say, PSQL, okay, whenever I write /d, say for example, customer. Sorry, it is not in Nitin. PSQL/d customer. So can you see there is customer PK? You see customer PK,
Yes, sir.
which is the primary key defined by us while creating the table. So if I try to check out, select star from PG class. Okay, let us take OID, comma, real name, where PG class, where real name like percent customer percent. Sorry, I missed. See how many entries, additional entries for that customer are. There is a primary key. Now in PG class, when you created a table, you added about how your definition was create table customer, customer ID. Then we use one terminology there. Okay. Which was setting this as a sequence. So like for example, if you see the PG that p.sql file, you will see the type that was used by us in the customer table for the customer ID column. So that's why this customer ID sequence was created. Correct. Similarly, when you defined it as a primary key, this was added. So this additional data, where exactly I'm going to get it? So through the library, that data would be packed or asked for submission, depending upon the request. So this is how the library would be communicating with the system. Library would be communicating with the system. Now we saw file access method, we saw buffer management. Buffer management will be necessary because whenever I'm trying to insert one record, our customer say for a while with customer ID to be 10. So it should, before inserting, it should verify, because customer ID itself is a primary key. It should verify whether record with 10 value for customer ID exists or not. If it exists, then it should throw an error. No duplicate value permitted. The way that he said unique constraint is always applied. This is done in the buffer. Now later part comes disk space management. Now let me show you that disk space management too. Okay. So let us say, let us create PSQL Postgres, create database trial 1, owner Nitin. Now if I write /l, I should see 4 entries. The trial 1 is added. Correct? Now if I go to my directory, so Postgres, cd/var lib PostgreSQL 14 main base. Now see how many entries are added there. How many entries are added there? 4, 5. Total 5. So we got this 976 entry. It was meant for this trial 1. Now think of this, how exactly this 4096 was given to it suddenly. When you fired, or when a user fired a create database query, one number was added. Definitely your file access methods came into picture. Now even you must have seen it took some amount of time rather to show you that create database output, this output. So say for example, if I fire this trial 2, now see, like I will start counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in the order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let us see how much time it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you must have seen until I reach to 5, that time it took to create this database. And at the same time, your disk manager helped you out by creating one more another entry. When I delete that database, drop database trial 2. Again, it took some amount of time. So if I try to see now, my database got deleted. Now, this was done through the disk space management and file access method together. So mainly your file manager of your operating system is coming into picture, which is helping database system to organize its own cluster structure, data directory. And this is managed through the system completely. And there would be always communication happening between your database engine and OS, memory manager, file manager, process manager. See now, I said process manager. How process manager came into picture? So you are using PSQL here, correct? Let us see whether there exists let us write pipeless. Can you see PSQL here? So on 2 terminals we are running PSQL client. This was one, correct? There should be another one. Yeah, this was one. So we have this terminal. Let me make this shorter. These are the 2 which are running, and my third one is taking care of these 2, 1 and 2. These 2 are taken care of by this terminal. You can see that PSQL is occurring, and the terminal ID also is shown. Now, if I want to get that data, now remember the numbers. Let us see. If I write select PID from PG logs. See whether can you see these numbers there? 365. Can you see 365 somewhere? No. Let us go up. Let us try to find Postgres. Now try to find out 365. Can you see that? Can you see 365? Yes. So through this server image, your PSQL client is communicating, and that's where your process manager comes into picture. Now in the broader view of database system, we do not talk about process management. It is automatically done because it is kind of help given by your OS, your database engine. Because every software should communicate with OS to get help in respect of sorting out majority of things. Okay, so let us move further again. Yeah. So now we understood this. Even if you recall, we talked about that size of a page. What was size of a page in database engines like Postgres? Whenever you insert one record, how much bytes are associated?
8192.
8192 bytes. So it is a block given. When it reaches to that extreme size, maximum size like 8192, it creates another block with same size as 8192. And it is repeated depending upon how many records are you adding. But does it suddenly delete it? Major question. Now think of when your database engines are providing you facilities like rollback, commit, and so on. Okay, apart from this today's talk, let me ask you one question. What is use of your recycle bin or a trash? Why it is added there? To store your deleted data. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. But when I say deleted data means what? In what form? It must be in file form. Similarly, whenever you delete your record, what happens? Your record is deleted. Yes. But that number associated with that record is not given to any other record. Whenever you update a record, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are entries. If you manipulate second entry, now your restructured order of pages would be 1, 3, 4, 5 and 2. Because you manipulated page number 2 or you manipulated record number 1. Sorry, record number 2. That's the reason. And this whole management is done by this structure. What is the structure that one can see in front of us? Now let us make it broader. Okay. By considering each stage. So query evaluation engine. These are the stages. So whenever I am parsing, so if I write select T star from X, select T star from X. Now how will you verify whether is this correct or wrong? So you said let us do tokenization, separate out them. Now where will you check it with? So you will check it with commands. These commands. And these commands after verification are given to the system. Now when parsing is done successfully, the query needs to be rewritten. Query needs to be rewritten. Optimized further depending upon how the statements are written. So I explained one example today in TCS class, but let me repeat it. So suppose you have a C code written, you have 3 variables declared. One of them is assigned initial value 100. Now that value is never changes inside the code throughout the lifetime of code. That value never gets changed. Suppose that variable is A and you are assigning that value to B equal to A. So there would be huge amount of effort required to bring that data from that address represented by B so as to store with A and so on. And that task is done in tandem by rewriter and optimizer. They are kind of separate units rather probably generally when your advanced database management systems course are taught. Where they dedicatedly talk about how the optimization would be done for the query. Even in your DBMS course, you must have seen this. What you must have understood with your database course or DBMS course was every query that you write would be converted to relational algebra query. Yes, it is true. But relational algebra query would be one internal format used by the system to represent your data, represent your table structure, represent all objects associated with your database. Then it tries executing that query in the shell, in VirtualBox, some virtual memory. It finds out the time taken for the execution. So after rewrite, every version rewritten for a query would be optimized and further executed. Then after execution of each of such all rewritten versions, one of them is sufficiently helping you out to get the output smoothly. That would be your query plan. SQL query plan. SQL Query Planner plays an important role there. How? Let us see. So this page you can read for you peoples what exactly they do. You can go through it. You can take screenshot and keep it with you right now, because we are going to refer to these pages later. This page later. Now you may see in command subsystem, I have added few commands which you must not have seen rather. Like for example, vacuum, copy, alter we might have, create we might have, and there would be lower level function. That's what it says. Okay, now let us broaden this picture. What you had these four things: parser, rewriter, optimizer, executor, and then you had commands. Now through your application, command would be fired by you. Select star from A. Either it could be a PSQL client or it could be your a program, web-based application, which is requesting the data. So that's why this postmaster is written. Postmaster is Postgres service associated with every user application. Now let me show you one another aspect related to this on Linux. Okay, so let us quit from everywhere. I'm quitting from every terminal and I will start with fresh screens. Grep Postgres count, sorry, WC-L. How many entries are? 7. So if I write this, I should be able to see these 7 entries. Okay, let me type on another terminal. Let me simply open PSQL here. Okay, now let me fire this. Now how many entries are? They became 8. And we already saw that there was maximum number of connections can be 100. So that's what the picture was showing you. Like whenever you are talking about a particular query, whenever the query is fired through the user application, Postgres service would be copied, and which is generally known in Postgres as postmaster. And that's why the slide was talking about postmaster. Fine. So in next lecture, like I will try to show you, see in one of the slide, I said library comes into picture. Correct? Library comes into picture. How this library is used internally. Okay, that's what we will be talking about in our next session. Fine. So any query till this?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, when you did rollback create table,
Okay.
but there is still file in the cluster.
File would be, like, see, rollback is meant for whom?
Rollbacking the transaction.
Database engine. Rollback is meant for database engine, correct?
Yes.
Rollback was not meant for your OS. Your OS only knows delete, means remove, RM. Correct? Am I right?
Yes.
So until and unless you fire RM, it will not execute it. What is executed is because of your rollback, entry of that virtual entry was deleted. Correct?
Yes.
Operating system is not caring about your database engine. It is only helping you. It doesn't say, okay, database engine doesn't communicate to OS that some part was deleted. because it provides you a facility for rollback too. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's where the buffer also would be playing an important role in the system. Okay?
So बहुत सारे रोल बैक हुए तो अपना मेमोरी उतना यूज हो जाएगा क्या?
Yes, that will happen. That will
Okay.
happen. See, like whenever you are talking about Amazon kind of system, आप कितने ऑर्डर प्रोसेस करते हो, कितने आप कार्ट में डाल के रखते हो. थिंक ऑफ दिस, सपोज यू वांट टू इंप्लीमेंट Amazon काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, यू आर क्रिएटिंग अ कार्ट. कार्ट में कितने दिनों तक रखना है? वो खुद डिलीट नहीं करेगा. जब आप कार्ट को रिव्यू करते हो, दैट टाइम इट में टेल यू बॉस द प्रोडक्ट यू हैव चोजन इज नॉट अवेलेबल राइट नाउ. करेक्ट?
Yes,
ये
sir.
हमारा एप्लीकेशन है जो डेटाबेस के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर रहा है. ये ओएस ने नहीं दिया मैसेज. किसने दिया? हमारा जो अमेजोन का ऐप था, उसने वो डेटाबेस में जाके एंट्री देखी वहां पर है कि नहीं है, एंड सो ऑन. ठीक है? तो थिंक ऑफ दिस, लाइक यू कैन प्लान राइटिंग सच अ काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन. ये भाई ये कैसे करते हैं, कार्ट कैसे ऐड होता है, कार्ट में ऐड करते चलो. Then you will understand, like you will understand the gist of why I do always say that database system is not very easy course. If at all you learn databases, you already actually know OS, you actually know systems. You definitely learn that automatically. Fine. Yeah. Any other question, query?